Vitamins ranked #1 at PetSmart. You can only find 21st Century Pet Nutrition products at your local PetSmart store or order online at www.petsmart.com. Your pets deserve the best. They deserve 21st Century Pet Health products today. They're your best friends. Tell them Larry sent you.
It's the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Once again, the star of our show on the mainland, Fred Dreyer.
Yeah, thank you so much. Welcome back to the show. Happy New Year, everybody. I sure hope everybody's New Year was happy.
Hope it's a good year for you, Fred. All year long, I hope it's a good one.
I do. I had a pretty good 2012. I got a lot of things accomplished. I got closer to my goals. Everybody has goals, certainly in life. I got closer to them. And the one thing that I made a resolution for 2013 was to see my grandchildren more.
That's a good one. That's good because you missed out on the inclement weather over the holidays.
Yeah, I did. I really missed those little guys. And they're 3 and 5. And baby Freddie is 4 months now.
Baby Freddie is 4?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know the name was Baby Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's great.
It's Frederick Gabriel Gaines.
Whoa. We're going to get footballs and stuff and start sending it over there?
No. We're going to put a golf club in his hand or a baseball mitt.
Or a baseball mitt.
Baseball mitt.
Because a lot of people don't know this about you. You originally, and I've said this on this show a few times, you were all hell-bent on being a baseball player. And you, a strapping young guy that you were, could really bring it. Plus, you had a pretty good fastball.
I did? Yeah.
Well, I remember you used to be able to bring it.
Yeah, I can bring it.
But you had a fastball.
I brought it and I left it.
And you left it.
I brought it and I dropped it and I left it.
I mean, come on. What were you? There was Mike Brito wasn't there with the speed gun when you were playing. But I mean, what would you assess your speed at?
I could get it up to 68.
See, I told you. It's good.
And then if my arm got tired, I would
drop it down a little bit.
No, I would use my feet.
Which to this
I'd stand on my hands and then
done.
throw it in my feet. Like Popeye. Remember the Popeye baseball, Bluto? He and Bluto?
That's after you and Popeye ate spinach.
Yeah. But I've always thought that was hilarious, you know.
I did too. And thank you, Popeye. Please sit down. I didn't realize I had Popeye in their audience today.
Now listen, we're at 68,089. We're bringing you all this information. I got one more soundbite here, and I'm going to use it because I want to hear the music. And so here it is. President Obama says he'll be spending his New Year Eve in D.C. You know, spending. He'll be spending. That's a key operative. He'll be spending. He's still spending.
He wanted to let us know.
He's still spending.
The key word. But he was making this. This was the New Year's Eve conference, the press conference, because he wanted to make sure he solved this this whole cliff falling thing.
Yeah, before he put the Speedos on. I think he had his Speedos on under a suit.
Yeah, but as soon as it was over, he's like on his way to the airport, and I think he kind of had it in his mind at the press conference.
Well, here's our last soundbite, number 5 here, Tomo.
It looks like I'm going to be spending New Year's here in D.C. It's all y'all are going to be hanging out in D.C. too. I can come to your house. Is that what you said?
Can you imagine a Republican president getting away with this?
I don't want to spoil the party.
Never.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine George W. doing this? They would have him hung upside down by his toes.
You know how revered and loved this president is by the elites in Washington, D.C.?
He is obviously there.
Now, look, I'm the first guy. I have a fair adjudication of what I believe good sportsmanship is. And this guy is loved, and I'm sure he's a good friend to a lot of people. I loathe his belief system in this country, but I got to tell you something. When no president other than maybe Calvin Coolidge was revered like this president is revered.
He really is.
He could literally, like, what's a good example? He could collapse the economic system in America, and people would still love it. He could walk to Harvard. He would walk over to Harvard and go across the Charles River and stand there and just say, you know something? Every single person in this college now is unfortunately not going to be able to have a job.
And they'd all love him.
And they'd vote for him again.
They'd vote for him again. It's true.
Yeah. Let's all go over to see Hillary. You know, and then they get a rowboat and they row over to Hillary's house, and leftist Hillary, John Adams Hillary Hank, they showed her yesterday coming out of the hospital.
Well, she had that blood clot scare.
Yeah, sure she did, and they had a blood clot in her leg, I think it was.
No, it was up in the neck or something. They thought.
Well, it was somewhere.
Yeah, and they were able to get it, and that was
They got it.
they got it.
Yeah, they got one clot that they got. And they're giving her all these drugs and stuff. And all they have to do is put her on omega-3s.
Is that?
It thins the blood. It thins the blood.
Omega-3s are good?
That's right.
Okay.
That's all you have to do.
So it's just omega-3s.
That's right. And they're going to load her up with stuff. And she came out of there. She looked like DeAndros, the head coach at Oregon State many years ago. They're built exactly the same way.
After a tough loss, right?
Yeah. DeAndros could come waddling out of there. They call him the Great Pumpkin.
That was the nickname?
DeAndros.
DeAndros was the Great Pumpkin?
Yeah, I met him. He's a very nice guy.
Especially around Halloween, I would think he'd be good to hang out with.
He was a coach, yes. He had, if you needed anything black or orange, he had it. He had it cornered. Plus, he had a pumpkin hat. I think he had a pumpkin hat. He had a pumpkin with a bill on it. So it must have been a hat. Yeah. So anyway, that was Barry. That's the last of Barry, and he was there. Remember, he's Muslim, so he can't have the poi. And the only thing he's gonna have is maybe some rice chicken paella. I think he's gonna have the paella with pineapple upside down.
And some Mai Tais.
Yeah. When we come back, we got one more segment, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, is that gonna be a beaut.
It's the PM Show Weekend Edition. That, ladies and gentlemen, the great Fred Dreyer. You can email him incoming at crni.net. That's incoming at crni.net. Or you can go to his Facebook page, facebook.com/The Real Fred Dreyer. That's facebook.com/The Real Fred Dreyer.